All right, so before we get started on this video, make sure you watch the last video I posted last week, which is details about the 2020 stimulus package that was passed a couple of Fridays ago. If you haven't watched that yet, I'll give you some time to get that done. All right, we're gonna pretend like you're done now. So in this video, we're gonna talk more about how I personally feel about the 2020 stimulus package. And keep in mind, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an investing guru. I'm not into any deep politics, wasn't a political major or anything like that. I'm just a small YouTuber with my own personal opinions, and I try to get a decent amount of education on those opinions. And plus, I know you guys really care a lot about my feelings, right? All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's get started. What's going on, guys? It's Darren Jackson, and in the past week I've had a lot of time to recap a lot of the details to the stimulus package because there's a lot, and I've gotten a chance to also reanalyze a lot of the feelings that I've had from previously reading about the stimulus package. And if you watched my last video, you know that I pretty much summarized my feelings with this. And after reanalyzing everything and going over the different breakdowns that the package is having and how it's affecting sectors of the economy and people within it, I think I may feel the same way, but let's go into a bit of a detail on that before we just cut straight into any type of conclusion. Okay, so let's just recap the stimulus package. It comes at a whopping $2 trillion, which is a whole lot of money I can't even imagine. And with describing how I feel about the stimulus package overall, let's start at the biggest sector that this package is covering, and that is large businesses. Now, more specifically, it's going to be $500 billion that goes towards federal banks so they can support large businesses and offer loans just to keep them afloat. Now, I personally think out the gate that it's a smart idea. It obviously makes sense because a lot of the large businesses are large for a reason, and the majority of them that are being supported by this company are a lot of transportation type businesses, especially airports. They're being supported in multiple ways: passenger airlines, cargo airlines, and national security related type airlines and shipping. So I think that's very important, especially in the cargo category, because as you know, during this time, there's a huge pandemic that has initially created this, what we're basically in as a recession. And a lot of hospitals and medical centers need ventilators and respirators and things like that. And a lot of places are across the country. So you're going to need to ship those as fast as they can, and that comes in the form of airlines. So that and other major companies like shipping companies that have similar responsibilities, it's really important to make sure they're catered to. However, I really feel like, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a professional in how money is split up within the economy, I'm not into politics, this is just a really small YouTuber's personal opinion. I really feel like that money could have been a little bit less, and it could have been put into more, in my opinion, important sectors of this economy, maybe small businesses and more so individuals, but we'll obviously get into that in a little bit. But I know that's not gonna happen. And what makes me even more concerned can be summarized in this analogy that I got from a YouTuber called Stefan, really cool YouTuber. I don't know him personally, but I watch a lot of his videos. He does real estate, investment, a lot of anything money related, so make sure you check him out. But to paraphrase what he said, he basically compared the situation to like a spoiled rich kid and his rich parents. You have a spoiled rich kid who has this credit card, has an unlimited balance, and he's just able to spend money left and right, but somehow he reaches the max, which I know mathematically doesn't make sense, but he has absolutely nothing to worry about because his parents are going to take care of it. Whatever's money related, they have the money, they'll take care of it, and he'll be able to keep doing what he's able to do. I feel like in this case, these large companies, these airlines, are the rich kid, and the government is the parent that's going to take care of the rich kid no matter what the situation is. They're going to have to, because large companies, like I said, are large for a reason. You can't let those companies fail because that's a big chunk of the economy that will crumble along with it. But with that being said, it almost seems like no matter how bad these large in distress companies get, whether it's a decision that they can control, similar to this one, or decisions that they make, that the government will always be there for them. which in retrospect may not be the greatest impact on the national debt of the world. But again, what do I know? In a previous video, I said that individuals and families were going to be getting a lump sum contribution of about $250 billion. After doing a little bit more research, I've seen that it ranges between $250 billion and it may even be an upwards of $300 billion. And just to recap, about 90% of you guys are watching this video right now will be qualified for the stimulus check, which is going to be about $1,200. And if you're a married couple making under $150,000, that's $2,400 going in your pocket and $500 for each child. Now, I do like that. It does seem a little bit rushed, and I'll get into that a little bit more in just a second, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, time's going by, and with every minute and hour, people are losing their jobs and they're having to file for unemployment, and they're losing the financial confidence that they once had. So what this stimulus package is doing, especially how urgent this is, it's essentially supposed to regain the confidence and the motivation for individuals and families to ultimately be able to put money back into the economy. As a matter of fact, if you go on Investopedia, you look up the definition of stimulus package, it pretty much says the exact same thing as a general perspective. So that's the entire goal. And another thing that's really beneficial about this stimulus package in regards to individuals and families depends on what you do with it. Now, if you're actually saving all the money, then you have an opportunity to be one of the 45% of people, according to a survey in 2019, that actually have at least $1,000 or more in their savings account, because not a lot of people do. So this will actually benefit you if you're able to do that. That's about the good news that I have for that. And overall, I think this contribution for individuals and families is great. However, I really do feel like it could have been more. As far as the numeric amount, I don't know, because for one, I don't know how much confidence it'll bring to someone to receive an extra $1,200. It probably will, but I think the biggest question that people are going to ask is how long? How long is this pandemic going to last? That's a question that only scientists may be able to answer, and right now they probably can, and it's not their fault. They're trying to figure that out. So we don't know how far $1,200 is going to take us, and with that, we may not know if this will be the only stimulus package we'll get. But all in all, it is a good move that the government made, regardless of how much debt we're being put in and regardless of what their end game is. As far as persuading people to spend more money, it's still a good look because it'll help a lot of families out. I feel like another way that people could have made more money is potentially adjusting the filter on who receives it. So you have to have either $75,000 as an individual or $150,000 as a married couple, which again, $75,000 per individual on average. Now, in a recent video that I researched and found out that in 2019, the average annual salary that a person made was about $49,000, almost $50,000. So you're talking $25,000 more, and that may be contributed towards people that don't need it. Again, I don't know what people's lifestyles are, what their household is like with $75,000 a year. You could be a husband and wife that make $150,000, you have 5 kids, they're all going to college, whatever. So again, that's just my personal opinion on it, something I thought about. Another sector of the stimulus package that I thought about heavily was the unemployment. So you have $250 billion going towards unemployment. And the way this will be settled is that it'll be an additional $600 a month for individuals that file for unemployment state benefits for the next 4 months. It'll also extend those state unemployment benefits for an extra 13 weeks, which for most people could gather them almost, if not towards the end of the year. I do like this one as well, obviously, because it is going to, like the $1,200 is supposed to, build their motivation and build their confidence in being able to spend money, besides obviously on things they need like food, water, but also, you know, if some people just want to go buy something online primarily because that's how we're all shopping, then they have the ability to do that, and that is them doing their part to ultimately stimulate or re-stimulate the economy, which will hopefully get us out of this potential recession that we're in right now. While I was doing research on this, I also came across an article which I don't really agree with, but I thought it was really interesting to point out that some people are really concerned that this aspect of the stimulus package is not only going to prevent people from going back into the workforce, because if you're making the max of state benefits based off the average, and if you're making an extra $600 and you're looking at about $1,100 a month, and if you compare that to the national average according to last year, which is going to be about $950 a month, and if you look at the national average as of last year of $950 a week, then more people are going to be making more per week not working than they are when they work. Now, I don't really agree with that, because even though this package also includes benefits that you would receive if you were employed, those will run out as well as this package would. So I really do feel like people are gonna go back to their jobs. At least I know I personally would. But not only that, but a lot of people, according to this article, also feel like this will persuade employers to actually let go of their employees, so they're spending less money on their employees as far as payroll, because they know that the government is just going to take care of them temporarily and they can use that money to save, which I really feel like is a bit selfish, and I hope companies aren't doing that. So I kind of have mixed emotions about this, but overall I do think it's a great inclusion to the stimulus package. And great segue is small businesses, which would be receiving between $250 and $350 billion in this sector of the economy. What I really do like about this aspect is that there are 30+ million small businesses in the nation, and regardless of that, this $250 to $350 billion is in the form of 100% forgivable loans. So that means small businesses can take what they need and not have to worry about paying any of it back, as long as they keep their employees on payroll. So as long as they're paying their employees, then they're going to be fine. That's money that they can keep to do whatever they need to do to rejuvenate their small business. Now, I really do wish that this was a little bit more. That could have been taken from how much money is given towards large businesses, but again, that's just me. And I also noticed that this benefit's only going to last about 8 weeks. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, that we're starting to reach more of an incline within 8 weeks. Otherwise, I have no idea what is the next step, or if even all small businesses will make it out of it, because unfortunately some may not. And as far as hospitals are going to be receiving about $100 billion. Now, that's obviously great, but let me just cut straight to what I wasn't too crazy about. And honestly, it makes sense, but still. So the majority of the fees that you pay when you go get a physical, about a quarter of that is on administrative fees. So ordering supplies, payroll, record keeping, things like that. So that makes sense. But unfortunately, that means that it's potential that a quarter of what hospitals receive in loans will go directly towards admin costs. So again, record keeping, payroll, and ordering supplies and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if what they're receiving will be enough money to get important things, as I've said before, like ventilators, respirators, supplies that are important to not only maintain the health and the lives of these patients that are coming in left and right, but to maintain the health and overall well-being of the doctors and nurses and janitors and any of the staff that are working in the hospitals, to make sure they can take care of the patients. So that's what kind of makes me a little bit concerned. But there's a lot of concern about this stimulus package, at least I believe there is. And it's not supposed to be perfect, I get that. And honestly, I feel like the government made at least a good first step. It's contributing to a lot of people, and hopefully it positively contributes to a lot of businesses. But I feel like one of the biggest questions that's on anybody's mind is, how long will this last? Everybody has their opinions on how the government should have handled this outbreak from the beginning to prevent it being as big as it is now, or potentially preventing it from being as big as it is now, and how long it will last. When will we hit the period of time where we see the amount of tests increase in comparison to the amount of positive results increase, and when do we start seeing the amount of positive tests decrease overall, to where we know that we can stop being fearful and we can actually be able to get out of our houses and do regular things, which in result help us put money back into the economy, which in result will get us out of a recession. But it's obviously important to note that the stimulus package is at least a good quick response, but it may not be the only one. And at this point, all it takes is a matter of time to figure out what's next. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully in the next videos I'll talk a little bit more about investing, so hopefully be a bit of a distraction from everything else that's going on, because there's still a lot of investment moves that you can definitely make. But hopefully this has been important to you guys. If it is, make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment. I really wish I would have said this earlier. I don't know if anybody's gonna make it to the end, but if you guys have, I really appreciate you watching, and until next Thursday, take care.